Hello everybody, it's your boy the Cauterizer here, and we're back with the Sorcery Pet Advanced Mechanic DPS guide with loadouts, tips, and tricks here. Sorcery is a really good power right now, guys. In my honest opinion, it's better than Ice, but only if you know what you're doing. They're both pretty close neck and neck, but anyways, it's definitely top tier right now, and a lot of people have been requesting this, especially Gambit, making this especially for you. Rather, I didn't want to actually level up my sorcery character. But guys, the loadout, the rotation's the same. I've experienced the sorcery, my main was sorcery for a long time, so I do what I'm talking about. This is just my sorcery alt. I just didn't really ever want to put in the time of my sorcery character just because it's not that entertaining of a power to me. But anyways, this one's for you guys. Gonna make it real quick. Let's go jump right into the powers. Before we do, though, just to touch over the skill points, you are might focused. Worry about might instead of precision, okay? If you do have to get precision, it's not going to hurt. We use weapon combos a lot. But anyways, get as much might as you possibly can. It's going to make your pet scale a little harder as well. Anyways, let's jump right into it. Onto the Destiny tree. You're going to be taking Condemn. Then you're going to be taking Rejuvenate, Vengeance, Invocation and Renewal, Circle of Destiny, and Weapon of Destiny. Onto the summoning, you're going to be taking Summon Guardian, Soulwell, Boon of Souls, Summon Watcher of Fury, Offering, Transmutation, and Shard of Life. Onto the iconics now. Going to be plugging in those last two into Weapons Expert and Tactical Genius. We are a DPS, those are pretty standard. Okay, onto the loadout itself here. We're going to be running Circle of Destruction, Shard of Life, Weapon of Destiny, Offering, Soulwell, and Summon Fury. Circle of Destruction, this is our static AoE ability. We're going to place it on the ground. It's going to do damage per second to everything in the area. Enemies that are polymorphed or bad karma are going to be taking bonus damage. Shard of Life, this is primarily just for AoE, and it's mainly just only for the bad karma, because the bad karma is going to make your pet hit a lot harder, and it's going to make all your abilities hit harder. 90% of our damage as a sorcery DPS right now is from the pet, so the damage that this gives isn't really very significant. It does about the damage of a hold triangle on my dual wield, maybe a little bit more. But yeah, it's not really worth it for the damage aspect. It's mostly just for the area of effect power interaction. That's all we really use this for, okay? Weapon of Destiny. This is also going to give bad karma, but it only gives bad karma single target. That's why when you're single targeting, you really never need to throw in Shard of Life unless there's just nothing else to clip into in the rotation, and I'll get to that in a second. Anyways, this is just going to make the next 4 weapon attacks that we do, yes, 4, deal bonus might damage. So very standard ability. It's also going to be able to clip our Offering, our Soulwell, and our Circle of Destruction, as well as our Shard of Life. So this is our primary clipping power, okay? And a lot of what we're doing in our rotations is actually going to be centered on, is this ready off cooldown or not, okay? Next, we have Offering. This is bread and butter. This is the power that should be on cooldown 100% of the time, okay? This ability is going to give our pet power back over time, and it's going to shield him from damage. Very core ability, and like I said, about 90% of your damage is coming from your pet, so it's definitely a must here. Maybe not 90, maybe about 80, but still, a vast majority of your damage is from your pet. So yeah, we want to make sure that he's going to be rocking all the time. Lastly, we have Soulwell. This is a really good ability. Not really strong when you only have 1, but you can stack up to 3 Soulwells, which is why it's huge. The more enemies that die when the Soulwell is active, it's going to get more powerful and deal a stronger damage over time. Lasts pretty decent amount of time as well. And like I said, we can have 3 of them. But not only that, whenever something dies, it'll actually give the whole raid crit chance, permanent crit chance while their Soulwell's up. So it makes your whole raid stronger as well. Good shit. Lastly, Summon Fury. This is, just our pet. Going to do most of our damage. He's going to grant Red Soul Aura to you when enemies die. Red Soul Aura doesn't really do much. Same Soulwell will do that as well. It's mostly just a cool looking thing. Red Soul Aura kind of is crits, I believe, but yeah, not really pertaining to anything in this loadout. We don't have anything that really consumes Red Soul Aura for any effects, so not really worrying about that. Anyways, go ahead and show you guys the standard abilities here. Go ahead and get rid of this Watcher so he doesn't go balls out. This is the Circle of Destruction. Use static AoE. It's going to deal damage to things inside of it. Right? And drop Shard. It's just rock, and it'll do a little tick of damage. It'll only do about 4 ticks. I'll probably wait for this circle to drop. There we go. Bam. Tick, tick, tick. There it is. These little pink and black dots and the swirlies around his feet, that's the bad karma. You can see the Shard of Life, drop that. And go ahead and hit Weapon of Destiny. If you can see, if I throw a weapon attack, it'll bad karma him as well. And you can see for the next 4 weapon attacks I do, all of them were might damage. Cool, cool, cool. Right? And he is bad karma'd. So well. Right there. Really good ability. It's going to do damage over time. Like I said, when something dies, it's going to give you and the whole raid crit chance. Not only that, but the dot on the soul well will become more powerful. And so if you have 3 of those up and a few enemies have died while they've all been up, that dot gets really powerful. So good ability there. All right, let's go ahead and pull out the Watcher. Let me discuss the rotation real quick before I go into it. So it's not so much of a rotation as rather it's a priority list, and we do prioritize offering. Then you're going to prioritize Soul Well, then you're going to prioritize Circle of Destruction, and then you're going to prioritize Weapon of Destiny. Shard of Life is just a filler for that AoE PI. And the only time we really use Shard of Life in the rotation is when Weapon of Destiny is off cooldown, but nothing else is that is ready for Weapon of Destiny to clip. So anyways, we'll go ahead and start it off. You want to start by dropping your Soul Well. You're gonna drop your Circle of Destruction. Then you're going to go ahead and drop your Shard. Then you're going to go right into your weapon. Your offering. Now, a little trick with your pet is as soon as he uses his first power, hit offering, even though he's not always out of power, because the more power your pet has, the more inclined he is to use his super hard hitting ability. Just for the sake of it, we'll call it his one shot, even though I know it's not a one shot. It just hits ridiculously hard. So yeah, the more power your pet has, the more inclined he is to actually use his one shot ability. So a little trick, you can pretty much get him to use it 4 times pretty much back to back. So we're going to go ahead and start the rotation here. Drop Soul Well, drop that, go ahead and drop Shard. So as soon as he hits a power, I'm going to go ahead and hit the offering. You can see he did 1. There you go. 2. And then he'd probably do another one. There it is. So you can go ahead and see right here, I'm trying to hit all my things off cooldown. The only time I'm really clipping Weapon of Destiny is if nothing else is off cooldown and Shard is. I mean, the only time I'm using Shard is when nothing's off cooldown but Weapon of Destiny. But other than that, you really want to kind of ignore using Shard. And you want to ignore finishing your Weapon Mastery combo for your uptimes. Your uptimes are the most important things that you could have as a Sorcery DPS. You just want to make sure everything's on cooldown all the time. You know, obviously excluding the Shard of Life. That's mostly, like I said, just for the power interaction. But you can see here how I'm kind of just, you know, ignoring the Shard and going for my clipping on different powers. For example, offering, just like that. So you can see it's even worthwhile to just kind of throw a hold triangle in there for some cheese to hit like Circle of Destruction. And you don't really always want to finish weapon masteries all the time, okay? You can kind of pick and choose your scenarios when you get a little bit more experience and you can tell. But for the most part, try to never finish a weapon mastery over putting down a power. Until you get more comfortable with it and you know when you can and cannot cheese or actually have the time to finish a weapon mastery, increase your damage. It's just... You know, like I said, use try not, just hit all your abilities on cooldown. Don't worry about anything else there, okay? And as you can see me here, I'm, like I said, there's no really set rotation. I'm just hitting my abilities on cooldown. Go ahead and hitting my priority list of offering, Soul Well, Circle of Destruction, Weapon of Destiny, Shard of Life. That's the priority list that we have set here. And you can see me, I'm flowing them in really nicely. Now, I actually have like a tier 1 bow right now because my weapon on this character was martial arts, just because she was primarily a healer, and, you know, I'm just leveling up recently. It was just a lot more difficult to run with martial arts, I'll tell you what. Running dual wield is 10 times more simple of a rotation, I can tell you what. And I'm actually doing significantly more damage with this tier 1 dual wield than I was with a tier 5 martial arts, just because of the way the weapon mastery works with the rotation of things. Like... I was tapping at maybe 1700, 1800 damage a second, and you know, saw there I was like hitting like 3k, you know. But like I said, yeah, for the most part, don't really worry about Shard unless there's nothing else off cooldown and you have Weapon of Destiny. Like I said, you want to try to clip with Weapon of Destiny as much as you can. Go ahead, not finishing the Weapon Mastery there to get the offering. You can see my damage is kind of going up now. I'm just kind of ignoring the Weapon of Destiny there because I wanted to hit it with a different power rather than having to keep doing it with Shard. So you can see right there is perfect timing with dual wield for, even though my Weapon of Destiny comes off cooldown before my offering, I could still hit another weapon mastery and it'll come perfectly up. Like, you see that? Okay, just go ahead and pay attention to my offering and my Weapon of Destiny right here. Watch, you'll see now that's up. And as soon as I finish that mastery, I can go ahead and hit both. So even though the timing's a little weird, you're not going to be losing damage. That's a scenario right there where it's worth it to not finish the weapon mastery. Because offering was coming off cooldown, and I can just slip an offering right into the rotation. Nothing was on cooldown there, so yeah, it was actually really good DPS gain to just throw in a shard. But you don't always want to be throwing in shard. For the most part, you want to be hitting all your other powers. Like I said, if there's nothing off cooldown, you're finishing at the end of a weapon mastery, throw in a shard. It is a filler power. We just use it whenever we need to, but we don't prioritize it over anything. All it really is there for, like I said, is the area of effect power interaction, even though it does give small damage. Like I said, not really worth it most of the time to be dipping into shard unless it's the only thing available. Cool. So anyways, that's the sorcery rotation, guys. I know it's kind of complicated, but I hope you understand what I mean by that. If you need me to actually do like some videos of me running content, if that would help you out, let me know in the comments section below. But I believe you guys are all smart enough to understand it. Anyways, that's your boy Cauterizer, and I'm out. Peace.